All right, folks, time to talk about the instructor manual for Cazzolis. Okay, so this first part right here, the case synopsis, obviously this has to be redone. It has to be redone because the synopsis obviously will be for the Cazzolis case. Okay, so basically you have the case there. Just go ahead and take a look and rewrite it similar to what you see here based upon the story. Okay. The next one is, what is the case objective? Like, what is this case about? Now, in my mind, there was a decision here, and it had to do with the product cost versus the quality. So I think the decision here in this case is what's more important and how do you balance the importance of the two, okay? The next item here, applicability. This has to do with where would you, in what class would you use this? And I think this would be good for a small business class, an entrepreneurship class, a class about target market, because quality, it's just like when it comes to cars. They have, like in the United States, we have Ford, which is a regular car, typical car for the average person. And we also have Mercedes-Benz, which is more important. Obviously, two different cost structures. So knowing who your market is, and it could also be used in a managerial or cost accounting case. Okay, so I think any of those are possible. So again, you'd have to apply that into that area right there. Okay. Now, the student learning objectives, again, SLO, you're going to need new items. So what are the learning objectives here? Could be understanding pricing, understanding how costs impact pricing, understanding the differential between being able to explain the different, the dynamic between quality and cost. Okay, so again, you're probably going to want to have about 4 to 6 of those. Okay. Now, overview of the applicable theories. So again, you're going to have to rewrite this. The first part has to do with why do we use cases? Again, part of the reason why cases are effective in teaching, and again, you're going to have to do a little research here. Why they're effective is because it gives a real world problem instead of just a textbook problem, something that somebody actually faces in the real world. So you're going to have to look that up and write about it here. Okay. That goes down about here, and then you're going to have to take a look here. Now, this part discusses, usually from a textbook, that would have to do with entrepreneurship or costs or something along these lines. So, if the items that you're looking to bring out in the case, what you want to do with this section is to outline those items and talk about in different textbooks how they're defined and how they're judged. Okay. Let's see, keep on going down here. Now, the research methodology, again, this is going to be somewhat similar. I actually lived through this. I was the general manager here. So again, one of the co-authors was involved in this. So you can rewrite that. Shouldn't be too difficult. Same thing here, recommended implementation and use of the case. That's basically, how would you suggest a teacher uses this in class? Okay. How would this be used in a classroom? Data collection and methods. Again, it's going to be similar. So we did have data. We had data here that was provided. And again, the data and the nature of the disguise, both of these are going to be similar to what you see here. The numbers are not exact, but they represent the relationship. Okay? So the idea here, those numbers are not exactly what they were when this actually occurred, but they're very close. They held the same relationship. Okay, so you're going to have to adjust those as well. Disclosure, same type of thing here. Masking of names and locations again. So anyway, they're just, to hide the true identity of everything that happened. Now, when it comes to the discussion questions, there was data here. So I think you're going to have qualitative questions. In other words, a discussion of the dynamic between quality and cost. Then you're going to want to have the students calculate the potential savings if they switch to the cheese. You know, again, assuming that they're not going to lose any sales, and that what if they ultimately, which is what we decided to do, what price increase would you need to maintain the current profit margins? Okay. Number of questions there. Again, it's not going to be as detailed as this one here. Then when you come down here at the end, the idea here about the epilogue. So here in the end, what Dennis decided to do, or we as a group, but particularly Dennis, he decided to cancel that order for 3 months. We found, you know, when we changed the price to make up for the difference, we found that the customers understood about pricing and the additional cost, and they were happy to pay the 10-15% 10-15 cents more per slice of pizza, or $1 or $2 more per pizza, to have that same good product that they already had. Okay, and then finally the references here. All right, that's about it for this. I'm sure you might have some questions, and if you do, feel free to be in touch. Go ahead and I would say try to work it first, try to do it, and then once you've written something, then you could send it to me and we could set up a meeting to discuss. All right, that's about it. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.